everyone. A warm welcome to this edition of LinkedIn Live. This is the 41st edition. Time really flies. PK,
Yeah, yeah,
41st. Yeah, great to connect back on this platform as usual.
yeah.
Uh, we have picked up a very interesting topic, uh, that is coaching is growing. I'm just skipping the usual introductions. I hope PK needs no introduction. We have been doing this every week. So, uh, Coaching as a practice was always there, I think, since we started walking, yeah, humans. Uh, but at the same time, it has been evolving. And the way ICF has brought it together, or some of the other entities like EMCC, they've taken it to the a new level in terms of the structure, the template, backed by solid research. And we are also plugging in some of the local flavor to that. In our context, PK, as you know, we are bringing some element of Eastern philosophy, Indian culture, Indian spirituality. And we are very proud to you know bring in this element of spirituality into some of the things that we do. So initial thoughts, PK, the statement coaching is growing, how does it resonate within you?
Yeah, Subhash, glad to be here. See, I think we started maybe some 11 years ago. I think you also must have started 2013, 14, around that.
Yes.
Coaching was definitely in a very nascent stage when we entered. There are definitely coaches in India who have entered the field much earlier to that. But 2013 itself was sufficiently nascent, and we had to really work our way towards first telling or educating people about what is coaching, and then trying to see whether they are finding it interesting. And from there, today, definitely, I think things have changed. We have been fortunate to be part of that evolution, where today a lot of people are reaching out, asking whether they would be, they can work with us. So to that extent, the coaching is much more known. Whether it is widely known, would still say no. It is still known only in pockets, but the number of pockets have significantly increased across the country, not only in towns, cities, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns. Today, coaching is not an alien term. Not as popular as training, but definitely not as alien as it used to be. And to that extent, to an extent that last 3-4 years, I've never told anyone what coaching is in my prospects discussion, or even more, maybe last 5-6 years. I've never told anyone what is coaching. The reason might be that they already know it, or they have gone through my website before we get in touch. So they have some understanding of what it is and what they will get, how they can get benefited. So that is one. The awareness is definitely grown multifold, multifold. And second, the towns and cities that the inquiries are coming from is a little more broad based today, which is not just limited to the 6 or 8 metro cities in India. And then third, I think generally the number of inquiries also is going up. So all these points to the fact that coaching is growing, and number of coaches, though, definitely it has increased manifold again. This is what I am seeing. Subhash, what has been your experience over the last 10 years?
Uh, for me, I resonate almost everything that you said. One, clients who are signing up for coaches like us, especially the corporates, they are looking for trained, certified ICF coaches. So for me, that's a big shift. They are insisting on some kind of an ICF credential and the acceptance that ICF is the gold standard globally. That is number one. It de-risks some of the stuff that they want to avoid. Second, as you said, when you're saying that last 5-6 years you're not really spoken about what is coaching. For me, the corresponding example is I just stopped uh, giving a demo in a chemistry session, for example. So otherwise, giving a laser session and experience of coaching was something that was integral to my chemistry session.
Mm.
That has stopped. Uh, you know, there is still no differentiation between an ACC, PCC, MCC. There, I think it is an ICF credential backed by your background, something that you keep saying, right? Your background, your experience, your network. So to
Yep.
that extent, it is more. It is getting a lot more traction. And my last bastion coming from banking and financial industry, BFSI and insurance. I mean, today, by the way, I had a preliminary discussion with a fairly large BFSA from Mumbai.
Okay.
So, I think the acceptance is higher. We discussed about uh, an inquiry from one of those recent IPOs, right? Successful
Mm.
IPOs.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. So our common friend Vikas yesterday reached out to somebody who's looking at coaching for the first time. So there's
Mm.
a lot of big entities, but first time into coaching as part of leadership development. So it is
Mm.
growing multi-fold for sure in this part of the world, and I'm not just talking about India. In this part of the world, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting that you mentioned about the recent IPO client, and that's a new gen business, isn't it? A co-working space. And the recent inquiries, Subhash, that we had conversations around, also touched upon some large infra companies, right? Which
Yes.
basically probably not until recently might have looked at coaching as a solution. Probably they were all finding their fulfillment from training, for example, and
Yes.
and probably for the top people, there was a vacuum definitely in terms of training. So training was rather not fulfilling what their requirements are. That's what I meant. So I think the infra companies, the conventional construction real estate companies where I come from, manufacturing companies, new gen companies, new tech or co-working space kind of companies, which are recently come to their profit making stage in their evolution. So it's interesting to see the industry getting broad based,
Yes.
coaching growing in that sense, in terms of awareness and usage. When we discuss about this, Subhash, so what are some of the things that you consider that coaches needs to be equipped with? Because this is the environment we are talking about. More people getting to know what is coaching, and more people getting to know coaching can solve some of their problems. In this scenario, what is that a coach can do to
Yeah.
service the emerging requirements in a meaningful way?
Yeah.
That
Thanks
is
for
a
that.
responsibility on us. It is on
Yes.
upon coaching community. Yeah.
Yes, and that's a big responsibility. So
Mm.
the first one is I still go back to the topic for today, that is coaching is growing. So
Uh-huh.
the growing part we already covered. It's growing multifold, and we don't want to look at that for the benefit of listeners. We're not talking about the market potential of coaching in terms of growing multifold. We are looking at the impact that can be made. So one thing that I keep sharing within our coach training and community is that coaching as a process comes to us when we are ready for it. The client is ready, only then the coaching comes. Not coach as a person. It's more about the coaching. So when we say coaching is growing, we're talking about the process of coaching. So going back to PK's question, our responsibility is that are we continuously sharpening the saw? As a coach, once we get our credential, once we complete our certification journey, we think that is enough. We don't need to apply for an ICF, or even if we apply for ICF, we don't take the test. Some are, not clearing the test because it just got tougher. Then they don't want to go back and give it. So, the need to complete the journey and renew. PK, I had somebody reach out yesterday, SOS, saying that my ACC has expired, and I was too busy to focus on it. 3 years we have time. So I'm just giving a real life example. Somebody, a friend. So I'm taking liberty, though I'm not naming the person. So if for the 3 years we are not done enough to accumulate the 40 CCUs, just 40 CCUs that are necessary for renewal, then are we truly learning and growing, which is the objective of CCUs? So, to answer specifically a question and to summarize, PK, we have a huge responsibility to keep fine tuning our coaching skills and your additional expertise, sharpening even the business and brand quotient. Because unless the world knows what is coaching and the kind of work we coaches do, we will be struggling for business. So it's not enough if you're just a great coach. We also have to equally give importance to the personal branding and the business side of coaching. What are your thoughts, PK? How do you see it, from your practice?
Can't agree more. The two things that you mentioned, and also the third aspect of keeping the credential alive, or even working on accumulating whatever the professional standards prescribe. The two things that you mentioned about being the best in the trade, or in my words, or getting the coaching skills, having the sharpening the saw that, as I mentioned, goes without saying. I think we need to be effective, we need to be impactful. That requires constant visiting and revisiting of the coaching skills, the coaching concepts, different ways of looking at it, trying to get almost 360-degree view of the coaching skills, and constantly, like an artist, so we need to keep practicing, and we need to keep looking for nuances. What the same word probably at different stages in our life can mean different things to us. We all know this. We all have been experiencing this. Similarly, the same coaching concept, for example, if you take listening, the way I understood listening in 2014 when I got ACC, and the way I understand listening today, the very word means different things to me personally, and it will keep changing further as I go. That is through intentional practice. It is
Yes.
very deliberate practice. It is not just practice through the sessions, but also reflections, and it involves so many things, right? And how many practically in our life, how many situations we can apply our presence, for example. Not coaching presence in coaching parlance, but presence can be practiced anywhere for that matter. So how do we deliberately practice? And that can make our coaching more meaningful, more beneficial to the coachee. So I think we shouldn't leave any stone unturned in the way to become the best coach that I can be. I think the professional standards that ICF talks about, and even the market expectations, as we find more people coming to know about coaching and accessing coaching and having an expectation from coaching, I think it puts a little more onus on us to live to their expectations, or exceeding their expectations most of the time. This is in our own ethical parlance. Yeah. The second thing that you mentioned about, if we are not visible to them, Subhash, when they are accessing,
Very true.
what's the use? I can be a great coach, I can be a fantastic coach, I'm investing in myself, in skills, but if nobody knows about me and my coaching, what's the use?
Very
And
true.
I can't serve anyone, right? I can serve somebody only when the connect happens, either from my side or from their side. The constant thing is me. Clients can be multiple, but the constant is me. So if I am not available when they are searching, if I am not visible when they are looking for, then what is the use? What's the use of having even an MCC and being the best in the city? So the point is that as coaches, we probably lay a lot of emphasis on coaching skills, but it is just like a coin. According to my experience, it is just like a coin, that both the sides are important. One is the coaching skills, the other is business of coaching. So
Correct.
building our business of coaching is equally important to be a meaningful solution provider for people who require it. And our purpose is to serve people, and we are ultimately a service provider. So it goes without saying. So can't agree with you more.
So to the two sides of coin that PK mentions, I have a spin to that as always. There is a third element that I bring in. That is about the deep work that we need to do, the self work, which is why we keep saying, reminding ourselves that all coaching was always self transformation for the coach, just as all leadership was always leading the self. In the process, we are serving others, right? Similarly, as a coach, we are also working on ourselves. In the process, we are touching the lives of our coaches and the cascading effect of their environment or the stakeholders. So the need to continuously work goes beyond even CCUs that ICF mandates. So for the benefit of listeners, uh, CCU is not the end to it. It's just a stepping stone to something deeper, which I am tempted to bring in the program that we do, Coaching Unlimited. PK, John Sarao, and me, three experienced coaches, we work together on this program as mentors. And the next edition is starting on 14th November. First 2 days on coaching competencies. The next 2 days, that is 14 and 15, 16 and 17, will be on business of coaching. See, all the wisdom, experience, expertise that PK carries, he pretty much just opens for, it's an open book during those 2 days with the assurance to support over the next 100 days. We have a follow-up plan of action for the next 100 days. So, PK, any thought on Coaching Unlimited as a program? How does it resonate to you for both coaching skills and the business of coaching and beyond?
Yeah, Subhash. I think you might remember even just before pandemic, we were discussing about what can we do to the fraternity, because other than certification, there was no opportunity to sharpen the saw kind of programs, refresher of the skills or the coaching competencies. Of course, ACC, PCC, MCC, and then what? So you remember we had those conversations, and then pandemic hit, and somehow 2022 was a very important. Early 2022, we had the first Coaching Unlimited. Right? So
Yes.
the purpose was to, though it was for competency, refreshing competencies for me personally, but I saw that as an industry requirement, and later 5 editions, where a lot of people joined the whole journey. So that validates the need to keep investing in our growth. So I feel these two things are important. So whichever way, as a coach, we need to strengthen our core competencies and skills to make sure that we are the best coach that I can be, and how we can create our own positioning and be visible to people when they are looking for us. So these two things was the bedrock for even Coaching Unlimited in that sense. This is the sixth edition, of course, and we have refined the Coaching Unlimited, the terms of reference, as well as what we cover. But I feel, yes, I think as a practicing coach, people will find a lot of value in
Absolutely.
attending these 4 days. In 4 days, probably it can be life changing for some,
For
and
also,
we have had that experiences of people finding the niche and increasing
Absolutely.
the businesses threefold, fourfold within a year. We had those
Yes.
experiences shared from the participants. So yeah, I think so. This is the reason why we are doing Coaching Unlimited also. The mission itself is to support coaches to become commercially successful. Because coaches, Subhash, I always held coaches are well-meaning people. Because
Yes.
as you said, there is a deep work, there is a work that is required going inwards. Even coaching as a profession is open to only some people at some stage in life. Probably they are all well-meaning,
Yes.
but unfortunately, the market forces, the business dynamics, makes it difficult for a pure coach to survive and grow just based on their coaching competencies. We have seen it and we are feeling it. So that is where we want them to be more commercially successful, and we are quite okay to call it out as well, because coaches deserve to be commercially more successful. So I think we will play our part, whatever little that we can,
Very
and
true.
we will, if we are able to touch few lives in that sense, if we can make few coaches commercially successful, I think yeah, that can move the needle a little bit. Yeah, that is the purpose that keeps me personally motivated or inspired to do more of this. This is the sixth edition. I have been enjoying each one of them.
Correct. Thanks, PK. That also answers Anirudh's question. How do the coaches, stick to coaching over the years patiently? Yeah, it comes from the alignment with the purpose. So we are top of the hour. So we will be doing the next edition November 14 and 15 for coaching competencies, 16 and 17 for the business side of coaching, personal branding. It's going to be in Bangalore, non-residential, in the city, in the heart of the city. For more details, just write to us. Any of us or social media, we are active there. Happy to respond. Thanks, PK. Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure to connect. See you on a future edition. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhash. See you.
Coaches, happy coaching.
Thank you.